I want you to take a good hard look at the media you ingest. The articles, the posts, the videos. Look past the politics and the personalities and see the horrible dehumanization present on every platform, everywhere, regardless of beliefs. It's a constant, insidious presence in our daily lives. Look at this face, at these hands, this body. Every line and feature tells a story, a unique, complex history of thoughts, emotions, and experiences. To see another human is to see a mirror of ourselves, and our brains are hardwired for this connection. We have a fundamental biological capacity for empathy. But what happens when that circuit is intentionally broken? What happens when we are taught to see others not as human beings, but as something less, something alien, something monstrous, something to be despised? The assassination of Charlie Kirk is a stark and painful reminder of where this process can lead. It's a symptom of a deeper poison, a cynical game of pitting people against one another, a means of control that thrives on division and fear. The fundamental thesis of this essay is a simple but urgent one. We must actively call out dehumanization wherever we see it and refuse to participate in this manufactured conflict. We must remember that, regardless of our political affiliations, we are all brothers and sisters, sharing this planet and this humanity. At its core, dehumanization works by hijacking our brain's social and emotional pathways. Neuroscientific studies have shown that when we perceive someone as human and relatable, a network of brain regions, including the medial prefrontal cortex, activates. This area is crucial for empathy and understanding the minds of others. But when we view people as subhuman, this network can become deactivated. They are no longer a person in our brain. They are an object, a threat, or a pest. This isn't just about disliking someone. It's a completely different neurological process. We stop seeing them as individuals with thoughts and feelings and start categorizing them as faceless, homogeneous, other. When that happens, the innate moral restraints that prevent us from causing harm begin to dissolve. The brain's natural aversion to violence against its own kind is bypassed. Throughout human history, this psychological mechanism has been weaponized with devastating effectiveness. In one of the darkest chapters, the Holocaust, Nazi Germany systemically portrayed Jewish people as vermin and parasites. This was more than just a cruel language. It was a deliberate strategy fueled by disgust and hatred to strip away their humanity. By convincing a population that their targets were not only subhuman, but also a biological blight on society, the moral and psychological barriers to genocide collapsed entirely. The same insidious process was at work in the 1994 Rwandan genocide, where state-sponsored propaganda referred to the Tutsis as cockroaches, and in the Cambodian genocide, where the Khmer Rouge referred to their targets as new people who needed to be purged. In each case, a group was reduced to a non-human entity, and the violence that followed was not seen by the perpetrators as an act against people, but as a necessary and righteous action against a perceived blight. Without a conscious effort to correct our course, history could very well repeat itself. Today, the same process continues, often accelerated by social media and political polarization. Online, it's a constant barrage of dehumanizing language, memes, and videos that reduce political opponents, migrants, and other groups to caricatures. When we scroll past these images, our brains are repeatedly trained to see the other as something alien, something worthy of our contempt and fear. We stop listening. We stop seeing their common humanity, and we create an echo chamber where extreme views feel normalized and justified. The psychological distance grows until the idea of violence, once unthinkable, becomes a possibility. Before we begin to grapple with the tragedy of his death, we must see Charlie Kirk as not a political figure, but as a man, a husband, a father, and a human being. This act of violence was not a solution to a political problem. It was the ultimate failure of our ability to see one another as human. The proper battleground for all ideas, whether we consider them good or bad, is in the free marketplace of ideas and discourse, not with bullets. When we resort to violence, we not only destroy a life, but we also destroy the very foundation of the society we claim to be protecting. So how do we resist this process? The first step is to recognize it, to call out the language of dehumanization wherever we see it. The second is to actively seek out stories and experience that challenge our preconceived notions and reconnect us to the humanity of others. It means looking at a face and seeing a person, not a stereotype. It means understanding that our brains may be susceptible to this dangerous programming, but we have the power to override it. We can choose empathy. We can choose to reconnect the circuits that bind us together as a species. The greatest horrors of history were not committed by monsters, but by people who were convinced their victims were not people at all. Our challenge is to never fall for that lie again.